Hi, welcome. This is Hatha Chill Focused Concentration, and I'm Sally Tompkins with Zen 27. I'm reading from a card today, which is part of the collection 8 Limbs of Yoga. It's published by Om Matters. A friend of mine gave these to me for a gift not too long ago, and I've really been enjoying them. I thought you guys might be interested in what I'm reading from. We're going to start off in Hero, and if you'd like to be in supported Hero, maybe you'll grab a block and place it between your legs, like so, just to lift. It can be on any setting. It's just there to give you a little bit of support, so that your hero doesn't have to be quite so active. Another nice way to take a supported hero is with a pillow or a bolster, and you can just fit it right behind your knees where they bend and relax into that. So if you find that hero is a little tense, a little intense maybe for your knees or ankles, that's fine. You can always choose another position. It doesn't even have to be seated. This is your practice, so you choose. You choose what position feels best to you and your body for right now. I'm taking Hero because I've been thinking about rocks a lot lately. I know that's going to sound kind of weird. I've been working with rocks a lot lately. And so this position is kind of reminding me of the care that I would like to give to myself after the hard work that I've been doing. I'm activating the muscles in my thighs as I gently squeeze them together. I'm activating the muscles that draw my heels and ankles together. I'm activating the muscles in my abdomen as I soften the muscles in my spine and allow my spine to be neutral. I kind of draw my tailbone in a little bit, curling it slightly down towards the floor so that there's no bend, so there's no curve in my back. My chest isn't jutting forward, and I'm not slumping my shoulders down and forward either. Neutral, long spine. Good. So my legs are active. My spine is long. And maybe rest your palms on your thighs wherever you are, or perhaps turn your hands up in more of a receiving posture, an open posture. That's up to you. Today we're practicing focused concentration. So with all this movement that we're going to be doing, we're going to start with a focus. Let me read to you what it says on the card first, because sometimes I think authors and other people have words that I don't, and these words are particularly eloquent, I think. I'd like to share them with you. So dharana is the Sanskrit for what we're practicing today. Fixed concentration. In Patanjali's Yoga Sutra, the 6th limb of yoga is dharana. Fixed concentration on one object or task, a state in which there are no distractions. So maybe there's something in the room here on your screen, or maybe in the room that you are in right now that you'd like to choose to fix your concentration on. Perhaps it's a plant or a gem, a flower, something on which you can really dig deep with your eyes and with your mind. So when you're holding your concentration on this one thing, when you're enthralled with the object of your concentration, all hindrances disappear. Maybe you've experienced this as you've worked with something that maybe you are really passionate about, maybe even obsessed over. For me, it's rocks. I've been building a rock garden and steps into a hillside, and I can't get my mind off of them. But we all need a break from that concentration, and choosing something else to focus on for a while, disciplining our minds to focus on that other thing, can give you the break that you need. It can be like a little vacation. And that's what I'm hoping your practice is with me today. A little vacation from busyness, from perhaps obsession or passion, from hard work, or maybe from just hard play. A moment, a time where you can get away and take care of you. So the goal is to still the mind, which is easier said than done, as you already know if you've been practicing yoga. A beginner technique for dharana is to focus your attention on one object, just one, such as a candle, a fresh flower, or a precious gem. Another technique, called transcendental meditation, a little more advanced, asks you to repeat a simple mantra silently to yourself over and over. Whether you focus on the object or a task, these practices are designed to give your mind something specific to focus on, to help keep it from wandering. Every time your mind wanders, and it will again and again, simply refocus on your object of your choice. All these approaches will benefit your meditation practice, your yoga practice. All right. So now that you've chosen something on which to focus your concentration, whether it's an object or a mantra, perhaps even a breath, let's begin to focus on just that for a moment. Measured breath. Keeping your eyes on that object that you've chosen, or the mantra, moving through your mind, and maybe even using your voice to say your mantra out loud. Begin to notice your breath. Simply noticing. As you begin to notice, to observe your breath, a conscious witness without judgment. Perhaps your breath begins to deepen. And relax. To come more easily. Begin to lengthen your exhale. Our goal right now is to at least have an exhale of 4 counts, 4 seconds, perhaps a little longer, without pushing, without forcing. And then see if you can match that exhale to your inhale, creating an inhale of the same count. If you are counting 4 on your exhale, then count 4 on your inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Continue. Throughout our practice today, whenever you catch yourself thinking about something outside of your practice, something that is not your mantra or your object of focus, come back to your breath, your 4-count rhythm. Good. You're probably feeling the stretch in your ankles if you're still in hero like I am. Let's go ahead and rock forward for a moment onto our hands and knees. Come into a tabletop position. Notice where your wrists are. Maybe turn your fingers inward until your fingertips touch. Just measuring that space between your wrists, and then turn your fingertips back towards the front of your mat. This way, your wrists are directly underneath your shoulders. You can make fists if you like. Same thing with your knees. If you're not quite sure if your knees are underneath your hips directly, rock back for a moment. Place your fists between your knees. This is a nice little measuring tape you carry with you all the time that can help you to make a stable and safe tabletop. Good. Again, we're just focusing on neutralizing the spine. So, reach for the wall in front of you with the crown of your head, and reach for the wall behind you with your toes and with your tailbone. Turn the eyes of your elbows forward. We're creating a stable table. Strong, energized, and still. Good. And then maybe you want to tap out your feet a little bit. Just letting them be loose. Pat your feet, the tops of your feet against the mat. Letting them flop a little bit. Relaxing your ankles. Massaging all along the tops of your ankles and feet there. Release any tension from sitting in hero. Good. And then sit your hips back towards your heels as if you're going into child's pose. We're pausing here. We're not quite dropping all the way into child's pose. Leading with the hips all the way towards the heels. And come up. Go ahead and place your hands behind you, right behind your toes. Fingertips can be touching your toes. Good. I'm going to scoot forward a little bit so I have more room. Good. And then begin to lift your knees away from the floor. So now we're stretching the tops of our feet and our ankles, the opposite muscles that were being stretched when we were sitting. Good. And some of the same ones too, actually. Good. All right, we're going to rock forward one more time. And this time, curl your toes under. So take your time, really spread your toes. If you can see mine, I'm walking my toes away from each other. I'm even going to reach back and peel my toes up off the mat, spread them wide. So as I sit back onto my heels, I begin to stretch even more muscles, stretching into the arches of my feet, into my Achilles tendons, all the way up into my calves. If you feel this is a little bit intense, you can always rock forward for a moment, take a break. You can even take some of that pressure in the palms of your hands, activating your shoulders, rounding your shoulders down, and then locking them into the sockets. Strong shoulders. Good. Take a few breaths. Return to your 4-count breath. One more. And release one more time. Pat your feet. Let them be loose. Yeah. Good. And we'll sit back this time on your pillow in Sukhasana. So heels in alignment with your midline, with your navel. Maybe your seat is resting on a pillow. Scooch forward a little bit so it's just the back of your seat resting there, lifting and tilting your pelvis forward. Good, long, tall seat. Inhale, reaching out and up. Exhale, palms to heart center. 2 more times, just like that. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Beautiful. Pause here. Feel the pressure between your palms. Create a little bit of heat, isometrically pressing one palm into the other. Let your gaze be soft, your spine be long. Drop your seat into the mat. Reach out and down with your knees. Shoulders fall away from your ears. Continue to press palms together. Good. All right, we're going to open our arms wide, and then we'll clap our palms together and rub them to create some heat. Inhale, open. Reach with the tops of your hands toward each other, drawing your shoulder blades together. And exhale. Good. Creating a little bit of heat. Continue to sit tall. Good. A few more seconds, a few more breaths. Beautiful. All right, big deep inhale and exhale into your palms. Lovely. Inhale one more time. And this time exhale, goalpost arms, drawing your shoulder blades together. Good, 2 more times, just like that. Palms reach for each other, pinky fingers reach, and exhale, palms forward, elbows come down, ribs reaching for your elbows, elbows reaching for your ribs. One more time. Good. All right, interlace your fingers. We're going to work out through our wrists a little bit, just creating little waves and going as slowly or as quickly as you like. Notice the sensation in your wrists. This is just to loosen up fingers and wrists. All right, and then the next one, pressing palms together. Your fingers might stretch like this, like mine do. They might not. That's okay. The key is, the idea is just to create a little pressure between the fingers, but not the palms. Just stretching. Good. All right, inhale up one more time. Interlace your fingers the awkward way, the way you usually don't. And then turn so that your palms are facing the ceiling. And lift and press. Shoulders down. Palms lifted, fingers interlaced. Deep breaths. Draw your attention back to your focus, your mantra, your object, your breath. Couple more deep breaths. And exhale, release. Good. All right, I'm going to turn so that you can see behind me. All right, reach back, walk your fingers so that your hands come toward each other. Draw your shoulders back and down, shoulder blades coming toward each other. Good, and begin to rest your palms on the floor. Beautiful. Go ahead and move your pillow, anything that's in your way aside. And begin to stretch your feet out in front of you. Good. Point your toes. Press your heels into the floor. Now turn your fingertips towards your butt, towards your sacrum. Good. And begin to press into your palms as you lift your hips away from the floor. And you can stretch your neck out long, or you can leave your chin tucked in. It's up to you, depending on how your neck feels today. Lift your hips, press into your heels, press into your palms. Deep breaths. And release with an exhale. Good. Come back up into your seat. And go ahead and flex your toes. Spread your toes wide as you draw your toes in towards your shins. Press into your hips and lengthen your spine. Good. Connect your sit bones, those bones in your seat, as if they're rooting through the floor. Let your arms relax. Maybe even shake them out a little bit. Wobble them. But let them be completely relaxed from your shoulders all the way down. Spread those toes. Active legs. Active hips. Good. All right, go ahead and bend your left leg. Draw it in towards your seat. And sit up tall. Wrap your hands around the left shin for a little stability and press your right heel into the floor. Flex your right toes and spread them wide. This may be where you stop. Or perhaps you bring your left arm to the inside of your left leg and wrap it towards your sacrum. So reaching your fingertips towards your sacrum. Bring your right hand around behind you, and maybe you interlace your fingers, leaning gently into a little fold here for sage mariachi. Continue to lengthen your spine, press into your hips, and reach for the ceiling through the crown of your head as you lift your chest and draw it forward towards your right knee. Beautiful. Relax. Release. Stretch out both your legs. Maybe you wobble them. Wobble, wobble. Bending one knee and then the other. Pedal your knees. Maybe you pedal your feet as well. Maybe even bring a little bit of that movement into your shoulders and your neck. We're going to move into the other side. Right side, sage mariachi. Draw your right heel towards your right hip and sit up tall, hugging your right shin and your knee towards your body. Good. Flex your left toes and spread them wide as you press your hips down into the floor. Let your shoulders fall away from your ears and your crown of your head reach towards the ceiling. You can stop here. It's a completely okay place to stop. Or you bring your right arm to the inside of your right leg. Wrap your right arm behind you so that you're reaching your right fingertips towards your sacrum. And then draw your left fingertips behind you as well until you can interlace them. Good. Lift your chest. Reach it towards your left knee, creating a long spine one more time. Relax your knee. Don't lock it out. Let it be soft. Let it be loose. Deep breaths. If this is something you'd like to attempt, but your fingers don't quite reach, you can always try it with a strap, holding on to a strap with both hands. When you're ready, release and shake it out. Maybe you even pat your legs, encouraging all the muscles there that were holding you to relax and release. Good. We're going to move into bound angle or cobbler. So go ahead and bend your knees. Draw the soles of your feet toward each other. Go ahead and rest them against each other for just a moment. Maybe you even wrap your hands around your toes or around your ankles and sit up tall, reaching out to either side with your knees. Press into the floor with your hips and your sit bones. And then walk your feet far enough apart so that they can open up like bookends. You don't feel any pressure there in your ankles. So my toes are just barely touching each other. Just gently. Good. If you like a little bit more stretch here, you might place a block underneath your feet. Or, if you like a little bit less, maybe you place a block or a pillow underneath your seat instead. It's all up to you. Up to you in your practice today. Wherever you are, sit tall, drop your shoulders, lengthen your spine. Reaching for the ceiling with the crown of your head, pressing through the floor with your hips. And slowly walk forward. Maybe your elbows come to your shins. Maybe you gently press down on your knees with your elbows, reminding them to fan out and reach for opposite walls. Perhaps you slowly sink a little deeper with each breath. And if you like, and if you feel relaxed, you might even begin to drop your chin towards your chest and perhaps use a block. to support your forehead. Bring your attention back to focused concentration, back to the object, the mantra, or the breath. Deep breath in. As you inhale, begin to slowly scroll up one vertebrae at a time. And stretch your legs out wide just for a moment. Flex your toes, draw them in towards your shins. And then come back into Sukhasana just for a moment, but this time the awkward way. So the leg that's not normally in front, bring it in front for just a moment. Good. We're going to roll over our ankles, if that's okay for your ankles. If not, go ahead and sweep them around to the side. And we're going to sit back for just a moment in child's pose. Knees wide, big toes together, or knees can be together directly under your body. Go slow, stretch and release into it. Take your time exploring all the way. Reach your fingertips towards the top of your mat. Drop your forehead to the floor. And take a moment to notice, how does your body feel in child's pose today? When you're ready, we're going to rock into our elbows and forearms, bringing the weight down into the forearms for just a moment. Round your shoulders, pull them back into your sockets, press into the palms of your hands. All the fingers are spread and pressing down. And then curl your toes behind you and stretch out your legs, coming down onto your belly for Sphinx pose. Your elbows might be just a little bit in front of your shoulders. Press away. So press into your mat with your elbows as if you're pressing the mat away from you. Good. Slightly engage your quads. Maybe you spread out the muscles in your thighs away from the inside, spreading them out to the side so that your pubic bone can connect with the floor. And draw your belly in and up. Lift your chest. And perhaps your gaze travels along the floor in front of you towards the wall. And then up the wall until you're gazing straight forward. Take a deep breath in, and with your exhale, turn your head, look over your left shoulder. Another inhale brings you back to center. And exhale over your right shoulder. 2 breaths here, nice and deep. Inhale to center. And walk your hands underneath your shoulders until your face comes to the floor. Go ahead and rest on your forehead or your chin. And draw your knees together, ankles together as well. Reach your fingertips down your thighs towards your knees. And press your palms into the sides of your thighs. We're preparing for locust. When you're ready, go ahead and rest on your chin. Good. And press gently into the meat of your thumbs. So your palms are pressed into your thighs. Your thumbs are gently pressed into the floor. Reach your toes for the wall behind you. Reach the crown of your head for the wall in front of you. Creating one long line. Engage. Draw your feet, your ankles, your calves and knees toward each other. Squeeze as if you're zipping up a zipper all the way up between your legs. Good. Your ribs knit together. And slowly your head begins to rise away from the earth. Your shoulders draw back as your shoulder blades come together. Your chest lifts away from the floor as well. Maybe even your ribs begin to peel away. And on an exhale, go ahead and rest on the left side of your face for a long, deep breath. Come back to your 4-count breath as you rest, letting your heels fan out, your palms face up. Another breath here, just like that. And come back to your chin, drawing your palms in, pressing your thumb meat down into the floor. Zip up your legs. This time we're going to not only lift the top half of our body, but also the bottom half. So we're balancing on pubic bone and belly, maybe the diaphragm, the bottom part of your ribs. When you're ready, on an inhale, begin to peel away from the floor, drawing shoulder blades together and lifting toes, ankles, knees, thighs. Maybe, perhaps you even sweep your arms forward, pinky fingers reaching for each other. Another deep breath. And exhale, sweep your arms down, turn and rest on the opposite side of your face. Come back to your 4-count breath. Let your heels fan out, let your palms turn up. We're going to come back to center, drawing our chin to the floor one more time. This time bend each knee. Draw your heels towards your glutes. And then reach back with one hand, wrap it around the top of your ankle, and then the other hand. And with an inhale, press your ankles into your palms, lift your knees away from the floor, as you lift your gaze and your chest. Deep breaths. Lift your knees. 2 more breaths, you got it. And release. Slowly, just as slowly as you came. Return. Bring your palms to the floor underneath your shoulders. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, pass through tabletop and drop into puppy. So with puppy, your hips are directly over your knees and you reach your fingertips towards the top of your mat. Drop your forehead and release. Press into each knuckle, especially the knuckle of the pointer finger. And with your next exhale, we'll come back into child's pose for 3 breaths. Going as slowly as you possibly can. When you finally reach your child's pose, go ahead and press your palms into the floor as if you're pressing the mat away from you. This will encourage your hips to descend just a little more. Take your breaths. When you're ready, roll over onto your back. So we're going to take a couple gentle twists onto either side. Let's begin by drawing our knees into our chest. Give them a hug. Relax your sacrum towards the floor. Maybe even reach your tailbone towards the wall below you. The wall in the direction that your tailbone would be reaching, if it could reach out with fingers. Notice the connection of different body parts to the floor. What is touching the floor right now? Let your shoulders sink. Let the sides of your back, all along your spine, sink. With an inhale, flex your toes and reach your heels towards the ceiling. And then point and flex your toes a few times here, maybe even rotating ankles one way and then the other. When you're ready, bend your knees again. Reach out your arms wide, palms up or down, either way. And gradually, very slowly, with control, allow your knees to descend towards the floor on the left side of your mat. Perhaps you turn and look over your right shoulder. And reach your fingertips as if they can reach through the walls on either side of you. With an inhale, draw your gaze back to center. Draw your knees back to center. And exhale your knees with control over to the other side. And maybe allow your gaze to be drawn over the left shoulder. Reach your fingertips long, spread your arms wide, and let your hips sink and relax. Let them go where they may, wherever they want to go. Just becoming long and spreading, sinking into the earth. With an inhale, draw your gaze back to center and your knees. And exhale, spread your legs long. Stretch them as long as they'll go. And reach your fingertips overhead. Let the palms of your hands come together. And draw your shoulders down away from your ears. And then gently bring your fingertips down to reach for your toes and spread your feet out. So you're not quite in starfish, but your feet are apart and your hands are not touching your thighs. This is corpse pose. You can choose to take your savasana in any other position that you wish. This one is just the traditional position. If there's any other movement, any other asana that your body would like to take right now, go ahead and take a minute or two for that as we prepare for savasana. Perhaps you have a pillow that you'd like to put under your head or your hips. I'm going to get mine and put mine under my hips. A block might also feel good under your hips. Perhaps between your shoulder blades even, a block would feel nice. allow yourself to let go of concentration. Maybe take a moment to congratulate yourself on the effort that you gave to fully concentrate on one task, one object, one thing during your practice, allowing your mind to let go of everything else. This is hard work, and you deserve a little congratulations, a little praise for the work that you do. Now as we enter Savasana, let go of that. Let go of all work. Let go of all effort, all concentration. Let go of movement. Allow your mind to cast itself out over the waters of possibility, beyond your plans for the future, beyond your memories. Let your breath be natural, easy. If you'd like to stay in Savasana for a few more minutes or however long you choose, please be my guest. Don't feel like you have to move at all or do anything right now just because I am. And if you'd like to meet me in Sukhasana, begin gently, just by deepening your breath first, and slowly bringing a little bit of movement into fingers and toes, neck, ankles and knees, wrists and shoulders. Perhaps taking a moment to bring your knees to your chest and to hug yourself. Roll over to one side and begin to gradually sit up, little by little. Let your head come up last. If you choose to stay in Savasana, enjoy. This is your time. And if you have chosen to meet me in Sukhasana, thank you for sharing your practice with me today and for spending time on you, on exactly what you need right now. Namaste. Till next time.